How many of you guys like taking notes or studying for tests? The answer is probably not many of us, mostly because we're in high school and it's just a waste of our time. Well, some people think that. I used to think that too, and I used to think that when you take a test, the choice is yours to study or not, and if you know it, then you know it. If you don't, then you don't. And I thought that way for a long time until like my test grades and my quiz grades were kind of bad. So when I was at the College and Career Center last semester for CNA class, I decided to find a new way that works for me to start studying and taking notes because it was 2 classes in one. And it was like a lot of memorization things, and I actually needed to do good on those tests and quizzes. So I found a way that works for me that I think is going to work for you guys too, and I think you guys, everything I'm going to talk about, I think you guys should I think you guys should try it as well to improve your grades. Okay, the first thing is that normally when you're about to have a test, your teacher gives you a study guide or gives you a list of chapters it may be over or where to find the information that you need for your test. So I go to the chapters and then take out the main information, like only the need to know stuff that you know is absolutely going to be on your test. And you shouldn't ever overphrase things to where it's going to be too much information that you don't need to know on your test, because then you could get jumbled up and maybe memorize the wrong thing that's not going to be on your test, and that would be a waste of time. Also, I think it's best to use for maybe math classes when it comes to memorizing like decimals or words with the decimals. I think you should use anagrams, or you could do that in English or any other class really. Like the only one I can think about right now is TTYL, so that means talk to you later. So but you can do that with anything. So like if you need to memorize a long sentence and you can't memorize it, I would use an anagram and just take the first letter of each word and make it into a big word. The second thing that I do for taking notes is making them pop out to you. Nobody wants to read plain white paper with plain black words, because then that's not going to stick out to you. You're not going to remember anything. Well, you might remember it, but most likely you won't, just because you're just reading your information. So like I did on this mini sheet, I made them in more than one color. So like the words are in black and study guides are in black, but then like definitions are in different colors. And you never know, you might actually remember the colors and then remember what color that word was and the definitions. So that's what I do to make them pop out to me to memorize them. And the last thing is you, at the end of your notes and creating all this, after you wrote out all your information that you need to know, I would just keep going over it over and over again. It sounds dumb and like a waste of time, but really it works. Like that's how I study. Like if I go over it over and over again, I'm gonna memorize it and then eventually know it. And also I think it's important that you go over it right before your test too, not just like the night before or a couple nights before. Keep going over it every single day. And sometimes I like to like cover up half of it and like see if I can say like the word jeans and then repeat the definition, or cover up the other part and say the definition and see if I know it. And 9 times out of 10 times you're going to do good on your test if you memorize that information like that. So in conclusion, I think that studying is not a waste of time, and either is taking notes. And I think that you don't necessarily have to use this method, but if you do, you might really increase your grades on your tests or quizzes or whatever you might be studying for. It doesn't just have to be that.